First things first, after 9 months, folks, it is official. The Biden presidency has actually produced the chaotic, destabilizing nightmare the left believed the world would look like under Donald J. Trump. And the continued refusal of his allies in the media or on Capitol Hill to acknowledge the ineptness of his administration just cost America the trust of our oldest ally and got 7 innocent children burnt to a crisp in the sands of Afghanistan. Now, Friday, around 3 p.m. Eastern Time, the Biden administration was forced to admit what many had suspected for weeks, that their retaliatory drone strike against ISIS-K to atone for the murder of 13 armed service members in Kabul was a sham.
A comprehensive review of all the available footage and reporting on the matter led us to a final conclusion that as many as 10 civilians were killed in the strike, including up to 7 children.
That's right, folks. Not a single ISIS-K member was present. There wasn't a solitary terrorist in the rubble to be found. Instead, in their zeal to appear strong and presidential in the aftermath of arguably the worst military withdrawal in modern history, the Biden administration mistakenly targeted an Afghan aid worker for death from above and murdered 7 innocent children in the process, bringing the death toll of the innocent as a result of Biden's poor decisions to 23. Now, they became the latest collateral damage of an administration immune to any and all criticism. Such is the state of accountability here at home right now. In fact, here is how General Milley initially presented that failed drone strike.
We know that there were secondary explosions. Because there were secondary explosions, there's a reasonable conclusion to be made that there was explosives in that vehicle. The third thing is we know from a variety of other means that at least one of those people that were killed was an ISIS facilitator.
For all the mainstream media talk of a Fox News right-wing feedback loop, they have created their very own Biden echo chamber so pervasive that when the New York Times finally broke the story a week ago, confirming that the drone strike on August 28th was likely not a righteous blow against terrorists, but an unacceptable display of ineptness, the Sunday news shows on ABC, NBC, and CNN pretended the New York Times didn't exist and ignored the report. This is what living in Joe Biden's America has become: a constant deluge of unimaginable foreign policy and domestic policy mistakes presented to the public as commonplace, or worse, not presented to the public at all. It's why hardly anybody knows that on the heels of the Afghan withdrawal, after ceding an entire nation to the terrorists they also helped fight 20 years ago, the British Parliament actually censured Joe Biden, calling his leadership on this matter what all of us have been thinking: a catastrophic and shameful display. Which is not only an accurate assessment of Afghanistan, it is perhaps a perfect metaphor for this entire presidency thus far. Joe Biden was supposed to be the return to normal president. He was supposed to reset and heal what the left called our strained transatlantic alliances with our European allies. And yet in the last 2 months alone, Germany has spurned Joe Biden for a Russian pipeline. Britain has sanctioned Joe Biden for abandoning our allies and our interests in Afghanistan. And just yesterday, the French recalled their ambassador to the United States after its president circumvented France to form a new nuclear sub-national security alliance with Australia, and didn't even have the decency to give them advance notice. Their exact words were a brutal American decision coupled with an Australian stab in the back. And so this really isn't even a matter of debate anymore. Our allies do not trust Joe Biden's America. That's not hyperbolic. That is the message that our allies are delivering to us loud and clear. They have chastised and condemned us where they must, and they are pursuing new strategic alliances where they can. And if the people of this nation and the media that is entrusted to keep them informed do not begin to acknowledge the disaster in front of us for what it is, well, they can continue to believe that Biden is the set it and forget it president. But they may discover that when they get around to checking on the state of our republic, the dream that is America may be burnt beyond recognition, like those poor innocent souls from that failed drone strike over in Afghanistan.